Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. And it's been a while since I've uploaded, but I'm here with a new video. Can't say I'm really back for sure, but we'll see. So, what I'm trying to do is something actually productive, nothing like my usual content, like Roblox and stuff. It's still Roblox, but it's a tutorial on the basics of Roblox Studio. And, you know, Roblox Studio is really basic in a lot of ways. I'm not saying it's not hard to learn, but it's easier than Blender. That's what I'll say. If you're trying to make like a simple little item like a chair or something, that would be easy to make. So yeah, this is the basics of Roblox Studio. So you probably just want to start out in the classic baseplate because if you go up to Explore and Properties. By the way, if you don't know where this is, it's right up here in view, and it should be the first two uh, ones that pop up. All of these, you don't really need these. If you have command bar, that's for scripters. If one of your scripts don't work, errors will pop up down here. So you don't really need that, but I keep it open because why not? So anyway, yeah. Here in Workspace, there's not much in here to start out with. You got the base plate, of course. Terrain is just to edit, you know, terrain. And camera, I haven't experimented much with this, so I don't know what it is. So maybe go look that up. But another thing is you start out with nothing in lighting, and I think this is good so you can figure out what all of the lighting stuff does. I use a lot of lightings, especially for my games. So, I think it's good to figure that out on your own. So anyway, Roblox, you can do a lot on Roblox Studio. There's a lot of things you can do, but you are limited in the resources you have. Of course, you always have the toolbox, but I really don't recommend using this unless you know for sure there is something you cannot make. I know for sure I cannot make trees, so whenever I need a tree for my game, I just look up a tree instead of putting an hour into trying to figure out how to make a tree and then having it look horrible. But again, I don't recommend using Toolbox. It's very easy to get sucked into pre-built models and just trying to stick together a game with stuff that isn't yours. So, you know, I recommend almost never using Toolbox. Anyway, like I said, you are limited with resources. You can have a block, a sphere, a wedge, and a cylinder. Now, despite being very limited in what you can use, there's a lot of things you can use these for. For example, let's try to make a chair which consists of blocks. This will be easy. Also, you probably want Moon Animator. It's just in plugins. If you look it up on Roblox, it's just called Moon Animator. And it has something called Character Inserter. And you can insert your character, and that's pretty cool. If you don't have that, though, there's also a custom Roblox built, you know, rig builder. And this is it. You just click on build rig, and you can choose R6 or R15. I usually just go with R15 block rig since it this is one of the biggest characters you can get, so you get a accurate size for what a normal Roblox avatar would need. So, but I'm just gonna use my character. There's a couple things you should know before beginning to model, because this took me a while. If you go to model and go down to snap to grid and set move to 0 studs, this will make it so your blocks or anything does not snap to any grid of any kind, you can view this grid by going to View and Show Grid, or Grid Material. You can also push Show Grid, but that's more like on the outside of, like right here. This is the grid of like everything. But grid material is probably what you want for builds like this. So whenever you have snap to grid on, so like let's say 5 studs per this. This is what it looks like. That's snapping to a grid. And it'll just, go to any block it feels like going to at the time. It's very inconsistent sometimes, which is why you want to turn this off as soon as possible. But I would leave rotate to 5 degrees because that just makes it easier to rotate accurately, because then you can see the angles, the right angles, and it makes it really easy to rotate. So I'd keep that at least 5 degrees. Once you got that all sorted out, there's a couple other things you should know too. When you're in here, there is a way to select these without going up here and selecting these. This will save you a lot of time. All you have to do is press Control, press and hold Control, and press 1 for select, 2 for move, 3 for scale, 4 for rotate, and 5 for transform. So you can just pick any of these on the fly at any time you need them, and it's very helpful. So I would just stick to 1 through 4. Alright, so now that you know that, you can press Control 3, which would put it to scale. And just basically, you want to start with the lowest part, which would be the legs of the chair. Now, you want to try and get it not as tall as possible, but to an accurate size. Get it to something where you can actually sit down in it without having to like hop onto it. And then now you just want to press Control D. Now what Control D does is it duplicates the item that you have selected. So if I select my character, switch it to move, and press Control D, nothing happens until you do that. See, something did happen, but you can only see it in the Explorer. If you look at the Explorer while I press Control D with my character selected, it will duplicate my character. And then I can pull my other avatar out of my first one. And this is very helpful because you can do stuff like this. You can take this, duplicate it, and get it to a reasonable area. And then select both of these by holding Control, or even Shift if you want, but I prefer Control. Control, select both of these. And then once you're done with that, do Control D, and pull these out. Make a sort of square. Now this will be the legs. And now, this is where copy and paste comes into play. Now, usually with copy and paste, you don't want to use this too much because it's, especially with a 0 stud snap to grid, because what Control C and V does is when you have something copied, and you paste it, it will put the copied version above the original. And this is hard, especially with 0 stud snap to grid. It's hard to align it back up. So you probably want to use that as little as possible. But for copy and pasting is good for stuff like this, because then you don't have to waste time trying to align it where the top would be, when you can just copy and paste it and then shorten it and align it with the other ones. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. The slightest little stud won't make much of a difference like that. You could probably get away with that. only like the most strictest, like the most strict modelers would get rid of that, and I'm one of those people. But you don't have to do that. I'm just very selective. So once you have that, you have like a little base. It looks like almost like a coffee table, and that's good. So now all you need to do now is select the base, the seat part, press Control D, and that will copy it, and then scale it down to the back. And then all you want to do is scale it up from the top. And boom, you have yourself a very uh, low poly chair. And if it's too big, don't worry. All you need to do is highlight all of it and scale it down a little bit. And boom, it's a chair. And of course, you can highlight all of it, go down to properties, and change the material of it. Wood and wooden planks will be at the bottom, so that's where that is. And then brick color, I usually go for either one of these for my wooden colors, but I also go over here for other wooden colors. But these are my main ones. I like these, but I'll probably pick this. So boom, you have a chair. Now let's anchor this real quick so it doesn't fall apart. Play here. Now, here's the problem with this chair. Let's get rid of this. Hold on. Sorry about that. Here's the problem with this chair. You can't sit in it. There is physically no way to sit in this chair as of right now. But there is a way, as you probably already know. So just stop that, and so once you're out here, you just want to click anywhere that isn't here. You don't want to click any models that are unlocked. You want to click a locked model, just like this baseplate. And by the way, if you want to know how to unlock it, go up here to lock, and if it is locked, it will have a locked, lock. To unlock it, all you need is to click, and boom, your base plate is then able to be moved, but you want to keep that locked. So right click on your base plate to open this little menu here, and then press insert object. Do not insert part. Do not insert object. This won't do anything bad, but it'll just spawn in, one of these parts. You don't want that. You want insert object. Now, once you have that, all of these little, options will show up. But specifically, what you want is the seat, which can be found in interaction, which can be found right underneath whatever this is. I can't find that. It's definitely not effects, but it's in interaction. So that's where you can find that. So click seat. It'll spawn in as a black block. All you want to do is scale this down to like the minimum, and scale this down like this. If you don't know how to do this, it's very simple. All you have to do is uh, press and hold Control, like many other things, and scale it. And this will scale both sides. So the other red side, it will scale both. Now you just want to align it like this. Make sure you have this anchored, by the way. Align it like that. Go down to properties once you have that selected, and go to transparency. and put it all the way to 1. And as you can see, it made it invisible. So let's click play. This might take a couple tries because you don't always get the perfect one on the first try. In fact, when you sit down, you may be sitting the wrong way. Like this. So let's stop. Rotate that by pressing and holding Control and pressing R, which will rotate it 90 degrees. And let's scale that down a little bit since I know he'll be, a little bit phased into it. Boom. Fully functional chair. Very nice. Hop out of it, sit back down on it. It's very nice. That's how you make a chair. So let's get rid of that. Now that's very basic. That's a very, very basic build. But let's do something a little bit more, complicated. Oh, what? You want to see the rest of the video? Well, looks like you're gonna have to like and subscribe for part 2. Because honestly, I really do not feel like editing the rest of this video. It's literally 2:32 a.m. right now.